problem number 5. I have chosen 5 numbers. There are 10 possible ways to choose 2 numbers from these 5, and the sums of these 10 combinations are 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, and 12. What are the 5 numbers I have chosen? And list them in ascending order. Alright, well, first of all, I'm going to start by just assigning some variables here. Let's let A, B, C, D, and E be the 5 numbers. Alright, be the 5 numbers. I don't know a whole lot about these numbers. They're just numbers. I don't say that they're, integers or whole numbers or real numbers. I don't really say what they are. I guess I'm going to assume they're real numbers at the minimum. But if I were to take these 5 numbers and create all of the combinations of the sums that we could get, then I would have, A plus B, A plus C, A plus D, A plus E. I could have B plus C, B plus D, and B plus E. Now I already have A plus B, so I don't need B plus A. And, okay, so let's start with C, C plus D, and C plus E, and then I'd have, D plus E. Okay, so those are the 10 combinations of any 2 numbers from this list of 5. Okay. So, what I know is that these are the sums. Okay, these are the sums in terms of, in terms of the variables, and these are the actual sums. So, what I think I want to do here is assign these numbers to these sums and see what I can do. Because essentially, I've got 10 equations here and 5 unknowns, so I ought to be able to figure out something. But there's another thing I'm going to assume, at least to start off with. Now, I don't know that this is true, but I'm going to assume, first of all, that all these numbers are different and that A is less than B is less than C is less than D is less than E. Okay, I'm just going to make that assumption at first and see where that gets me. And if I can't find a solution, then I might revise my assumption here. But at least for now, I'm going to assume that these, there's an order. I mean, it says list them in ascending order, so I'm going to assume this order. Okay, that A is the smallest, E is the biggest. So, if that's true, the sum of the 2 smallest numbers should be the smallest sum. So let's just make that 6. And then let's make this 7 and this 8. And I'm assuming that they're different numbers. So if A plus D is 8, then A plus E should be something different if D and E are different. Okay? And I'm going to assume at first here anyway that they are different. So let's call this one 9. Alright. B plus C, okay, this is a small number with the next smallest number. So I'm going to make this 8, because we had 2 8s up here. Alright. So the other 8, I'm going to make it here. We have 2 9s, so I'm going to make this a 9. I'm going to make this a 10. And then I'm going to make this 10, because we have 2 10s. I'm going to make this 11. And then I'm going to make this 12. Okay? I'm going to make that, I'm going to make these assignments and see where it gets me. Alright? So, when I look at these 2 equations, I'm seeing a C and a C, and a D and an E, right? Over here I have a D and an E. And if I could get an expression in terms of D and E, and combine it with this expression in terms of D and E, then I ought to be able to solve for D and E, because then I have 2 equations and 2 unknowns. So if I just subtract these 2 equations, then the C's will go away, right? So I'm just going to basically, let's see, I'll just subtract the second one from the first one. Okay, so this would be like a negative c, and this would be a negative e, and this would be a negative 11. So when I take c minus e, that's 0. So I end up with d minus e is equal to negative 1. And I already have here, let me scroll down, d plus e is 12. So d plus e is equal to 12. And now look at this. I can add those, and the e's will go away. So I get 2d is equal to 11. So d has to be 5 and a half. I'm going to make it 5.5. Alright, that's half of 11. So isn't that interesting? It's not, these aren't integers. Okay, so if I had done some kind of trial and error, I probably wouldn't think to use decimal numbers, to use real numbers. I would probably started with integers and find out it didn't work. So okay, so now I have d is equal to 5.5. So I can solve for e, because I know that d plus e is 12, so e has to be 6.5. Alright, that'll give me the sum of 12. And then I can solve for, let's see, I can solve for the rest of them. So let's go with c. Let's find c. C has to be, now I know that c plus d is 10, and d is 5.5, so this has to be 4.5. If I'm looking for b, now I know that b plus c is 8, and c is 4.5, so this has to be 3.5. And a and b is 6, and b is 3.5, so this has to be 2.5. Alright, so there I've got my numbers. And they're all different, they're all, but they're all, you know, decimal numbers. So let me write them out like it says to do, and list them in ascending order. That means that they're increasing. So we have 2.5, we have 3.5, we have 4.5, we have 5.5, and 6.5. Wasn't that sneaky of me to choose numbers that were not integers? So there you go. There's the answer.